I wonder which window we'll be going through today.
Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, fun for you and me. Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, watch and you will see. Things to do, people to meet. We've got the whole world at our feet. At Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, it's a wonderful place to be.
Hello.
Oh, whoa there! Hello, and welcome to Tikkabilla. We're dressing up today. I've got a lovely cloak on, a sword, and a shiny crown.
And I've got some fairy wings and a wand, because today we're going to sing you a story.
Giddy up!
There was a princess long ago, long ago, long ago. There was a princess long ago, long, long ago. And she lived in a big high tower, a big high tower, a big high tower. And she lived in a big high tower, long, long ago.
The naughty fairy waved her wand, waved her wand, waved her wand. The naughty fairy waved her wand long, long ago. The princess slept for 100 years, 100 years, 100 years. The princess slept for 100 years, long, long ago. A great big forest grew around, grew around, grew around. A great big forest grew around long, long ago.
Giddy up, boy! Yiddly-oh-ho-ho! A handsome prince came riding by, riding by, riding by. A handsome prince came riding by, long, long ago. He took his sword to cut it down, cut it down, cut it down. He took his sword to cut it down, long, long ago. And now to wake the princess up with a kiss. He kissed her hand to wake her up, wake her up, wake her up. He kissed her hand to wake her up long, long ago. Hello, princess.
So everybody's happy now, happy now, happy now. So everybody's happy now,
Happy now.
Are you happy, Justin?
I'm very happy, Princess Tamba. Are you happy?
Yes, I am. I love this tower.
Ah, would you like to live in a tower like this?
Oh, yes. I'd like to live in one of those towers with a light on the top.
Oh, do you mean a lighthouse?
Yes, a lighthouse.
Ah, do you know what a lighthouse looks like? Maybe we'll see one through one of the windows. How many windows? 1, 2, 3. Round, square, or arched? Which one will it be? It's the arched window. This is the Walney Lighthouse in Cumbria. Lighthouses are very tall towers that are built near the sea. They shine a bright light out to warn ships that there are dangerous rocks or sandbanks in the area, so they need to keep away. This is Ian. He's the lighthouse keeper. He lives in a cottage next to the lighthouse. He doesn't have to go far to go to work in the mornings. But he does have a lot of steps to climb. 91 altogether. Lighthouses have to be very tall so that they can be seen from a long way away.
This is the most important part of the lighthouse, and it's called the lamp room. At night, we use these 4 large reflectors to shine out a bright light for the ships to see. I polish the glass up here to keep it clean so the light can shine as brightly as possible. During the day, the lighthouse can be seen for miles because it's painted bright white. The light is very powerful and slightly bigger than the bulbs you have at home. I'll just put one there to show you. The reason the little bulb can be seen for miles at sea is because this large reflector bounces all the light back out to sea. The lighthouse keeper has to be here all the time to make sure that the lighthouse is working properly. There are lots of lighthouses and each one flashes differently to show the sailors which lighthouse they are passing.
That lighthouse looked really pretty when it was all lit up at night, didn't it? Now, I thought we'd have a go at making our own lighthouse. Now, I've got one made here, and as you can see, we've made it out of a tube, or an old crisp tube, a couple of fruit cartons, an egg box, and some tissue paper. So let's get going, shall we? Right, let's start with the tissue paper. Now, I've used a blue colour for the sea, and then get one of your fruit cartons and cover it in glue in the inside, like that. Then get some more tissue paper. Now this has got to look like the rock, so I've used some grey tissue paper, and then pop that inside, wrap it around the inside of the fruit carton. That's it. Turn it over. And there we have your large rock for the lighthouse to sit on. Right, what's next? Should we do the rocks next? So, put an old egg box here. I'm using some of the egg trays for the rocks, as you can see. You might need to get some help cutting those out. So, let's have 3, shall we? Let's pop them a bit further back. A couple there, and then another rock there. So, just stick those down. Like that. We'll do one more bit of sticky tape over here, just in case. We don't want one of the rocks to sink, do we? Right, and then just scrunch the tissue paper up so it looks like the sea's crashing onto the rocks. Now what you'll have to do is glue the tissue paper onto the rocks so it sticks like that. And then a bit more on this side, and scrunch that up all around the lighthouse base. Right, there we go. Right, now we're ready to make the lighthouse. So push that to one side for a minute. Now I've got an old crisp tube here, but you could use a cardboard tube if you wanted. And then if you get a sheet of paper, I'm going to use a red piece for the outside of my lighthouse. Roll it around the tube, and then stick that down with some more sticky tape. Like that. Now, to get that stripy effect on the house here, I've used strips of yellow card. So, again, roll those around like that, and then stick them down. One, do a couple more. 2. Last one, at the top of the house. 3. There we go. Well, it's taking shape, isn't it? Now, as you can see, at the bottom of this lighthouse, we've got the lighthouse keeper's doorway. And we've got some windows here. And to do that, you just simply get a black pen and then draw in your doorway, like that. Colour it in. And then you can do a couple of windows on the other floors. One there. We'll do one up, right up the top. Like that. There you go. Right. Then pop your lighthouse on the base of the rock and then stick that down with some sticky tape. We don't want the lighthouse falling into the sea, do we? There. One more piece. There. Right. Now, the last thing to do is the roof. So, we get the other fruit carton, this is a small one, and do exactly the same as you did with the base of the lighthouse. Pop some glue all around the inside, like that. And then some more tissue paper. Now, I'm going to use some yellow this time, because it looks like the light in the lighthouse roof, doesn't it? Fold that over, because I think we won't need all of that. And then push that inside like that. Now, before we put that on top, there's another little thing you can do here. If you've got a torch, you can switch the torch on and then pop that inside the lighthouse. You may need to get a grown-up to help you with this bit. And then you can put your lighthouse roof on. And there you have it, your very own working lighthouse.
Oh, Justin, that is fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
Isn't it wonderful? I wonder what the time is. Tikkabilla, Tockabilla, Tikkabilla, Tock. What's the time on the Tikkabilla clock? Both hands are pointing to the same place. They're both pointing to the number 12. Now, if the big hand is pointing to the number 12, that means it's something o'clock. And if the little hand is also pointing to the number 12, it means it's 12 o'clock. But what's this underneath the clock? It's a dinosaur! And the story's called Tom and the Island of Dinosaurs. There was once a boy called Tom who lived with his grandfather in an old lighthouse at the edge of the sea. Between them, Tom and his grandfather took care of the lighthouse. On stormy days and moonless nights, they would light the lamp to show passing ships where the rocks were. On sunny days, they would go fishing together, and Tom's grandfather would tell him wonderful stories of faraway lands and sea monsters. Tom loved his grandfather and the lighthouse very much, but sometimes he longed to sail the wide, grey seas in search of adventure. One day, Tom saw something glinting among the wet pebbles on the seashore. It was an old bottle, chipped and covered with seaweed, with a message inside. "Help! I'm shipwrecked on a faraway island. There are dinosaurs here and a smoking volcano. Please come before it's too late. Help! Thank you, from Katie." Tom rushed home with the message. "Oh, poor girl," said his grandfather. She's in terrible trouble. He looked worried. But what can we do? We can't leave the lighthouse. If a storm blows up, we'll have to light the lamp. Don't worry, Grandfather, said Tom. I'll rescue her. Tom raced down the stairs to fetch the special emergency box. He pushed and pulled and heaved it up the narrow steps to the balcony. He pulled the ripcord. With a rush of wind, the sides of the box collapsed and an enormous rescue balloon filled with air. Tom jumped into the basket. His grandfather gave him a snack for the journey and wished him luck. "Be careful," he said as he let the tether go. Tom's balloon soared into the sky. As night fell, he drifted across cold seas and sleeping towns. He flew past snow-covered mountains, across wild, dark green forests, through rainstorms and over waterfalls. At times, the balloon dipped down to touch the waves. Later, it drifted across a great city at dawn. And then, as the sun rose, flew on far, far away. At last, Tom could see the island below him. A ship lay wrecked on the rocks, but there was no sign of Katy or the dinosaurs. Great belches of smoke and fire rose from the volcano. He let the balloon drift down through the swirling smoke and fixed the anchor to a tree. He climbed down and began to look for Katy. Just then, he heard someone calling him. It was Katy! She was perched high up in a tree. "Quick!" Tom shouted. "We've got to get out of here. The volcano is about to erupt." "Oh, we can't go yet," said Katy. "Come and look at this." "Those are the last dinosaurs in the whole world," said Katy. "If we leave them here, they'll be killed when the volcano erupts. We've got to save them." "But how?" asked Tom. "Those dinosaurs are too big for my balloon." Luckily, Katy had a plan. First, they collected armfuls of enormous flowers. Katy knew that the dinosaurs loved to eat the flowers. Then they made huge nets from the rigging on Katy's wrecked ship. Tom hung them from the basket of his balloon. All the time, the explosions from the volcano got louder and louder. They laid a trail of flowers for the dinosaurs to follow. At the water's edge, Katy clambered up into the balloon's basket and threw handfuls of flowers onto the water. The dinosaurs followed, swimming. The plan had worked. The seas turned black around them and hot rocks hissed down as the volcano erupted. Oh, they'd got away in the nick of time. Just as the smallest dinosaur was getting too tired to swim, they reached a beautiful island. Then it was time for Tom and Katy to start the long journey home. They said goodbye to the dinosaurs and set off in the red balloon. But the journey home was not easy. Winds howled round the basket. Rain lashed over them. The moon vanished. There was nothing but icy blackness. Just as Tom thought he would never see his grandfather again, a bright light pierced the swirling black clouds. "It's the lighthouse!" he cried. And as they flew closer, Tom could see his grandfather on the balcony, watching out for him to come home. Safe at last and wrapped in blankets, Tom and Katy drank hot cocoa in front of the fire. Grandfather listened as they told him the wonderful story of the shipwreck, the volcano, and rescuing the last dinosaurs.
Tom and Katy were travelling in a hot air balloon, And I've made one out of these pink shapes here. Can you see? I've got an idea for a game. I'll make some different kinds of transport, and you have to guess what they are.
Will you help us?
Right, you ready, Tamba? Let's start over here with the blue shape, shall we? We'll use this rectangle here and this square next to it. And then we can use these two blue circles at the bottom.
They look like wheels.
That's right, Tamba. Do you know what it is?
It looks like a truck, doesn't it?
That's right, it's a truck or a lorry. Did you get it? Right, let's do another one. Using these orange shapes this time. Square there, and then a rectangle next to it. And then we can use this smaller square at the front. And then the two orange circles at the bottom. What do you think?
Something else with wheels.
You're right, Tamba.
That looks like an engine from a train.
That's right, it is. It's an engine. Right, let's do one more with the yellow shapes. That can stay there. And then, I bet you get this one. Put the two yellow triangles next to it.
A boat.
It's a boat. Hey, and I think Sammy's going on an exciting adventure today on a boat. Let's have a look, shall we?
This is Sammy. He lives with his mum and dad, his sister Anuja, and his granddad Sonny. Sammy is 4.5 years old. And Sammy loves to daydream. It was Saturday and it was raining. Sammy was in his room drawing. He was drawing a picture of a boat that was being tossed about on a stormy sea. The waves were high and crashed down over the deck, and the skies were wild and dark. Sammy imagined his boat reeling back and forth in the wind, and he began to feel quite sick, as he felt that he was moving too. He got up from his table and staggered across the room, but it was swaying from side to side, which made it difficult to walk. When he opened the door, he was instantly soaked as a wave crashed over him, and he found that he was standing on the deck of a boat. "Hold on tight!" shouted a sailor as he ran past to the lookout post, and another wave broke over them. "Get below decks!" shouted someone else, who was busy fastening down one of the sails. Sammy was beginning to feel very seasick indeed now, and desperately wanted the boat to stop moving up and down. There must be something I can do, he thought to himself. This is my picture after all. And then he had an idea. He was still clutching his crayons, and amongst them was a bright yellow one. Holding onto the rails as tightly as he could, Sammy battled his way to the front of the boat. A rope ladder hung from the top of the mast, and as carefully as he could, he began to climb it. At the top of the mast, he reached out and drew a round yellow sun in the sky. It was a bit shaky as the boat was moving so much, but it did the trick. Almost as soon as he had finished drawing, the wind dropped. The waves calmed, and the boat stopped rocking from side to side. "Phew," said Sammy, and drew a flag with a rainbow on it to fly from the top of the mast, then climbed back down to the deck where the crew were waiting for him. "3 cheers for Sammy," called the captain, and the sailors shouted, "Hip, hip, hooray!" as he clambered down to meet them. "Thank you very much," said the captain. "That was a very brave thing you did." And Sammy felt suddenly rather shy. The captain was about to say something else, but his voice was drowned out by a loud rumble. The sailors looked up, but the skies were clear. It couldn't be another storm. Then the rumble came again, and Sammy realized that it was coming from his stomach. "Oh, I think it's time for tea," he said, and everyone agreed. But there was a problem. All the boat's supplies had been washed overboard in the storm, and there was no food left for them to eat. "Oh, don't worry," said Sammy, and took out his crayons and began drawing. First, he drew some sandwiches, then cakes and biscuits and ice creams, and last of all, some glasses of lemonade. They all tucked in and ate as much as they could until Sammy said it was time for him to go. He said goodbye to the sailors and opened the door back to his bedroom. The floor was quite still now, and he looked at his picture on the table, where the boat was sailing peacefully under a clear blue sky. The rainbow flag was flying from the top of the mast, and when he looked closely, he could just make out the captain waving to him as the boat sailed off to the horizon.
Sea. Sailor. Singing sailor. Sinking sailor. Soggy sailor.
Aha, there you are. Come aboard the good ship Tikkabilla with Captain Beverley. Ahoy there, shipmates!
Ahoy there, Captain Beverley! Ha-ha! Shipmates Tamba and shipmates Justin reporting for duty, ready to set sail.
The big ship sails on the alley-alley-o, the alley-alley-o. The alley-alley-o, the big ship sails on the alley-alley-o on the last day of September. Alley-alley-o, alley-alley-o on the last day of September.
We've scrubbed the decks, Captain Beverley. What do you think?
The captain said this will never, never do.
Go!
Never, never do.
Go!
Never, never do. The captain said this will never, never do.
Go!
On the last day of September. Alley-alley-o, alley-alley-o on the last day of September.
Get ready to dip your heads in the deep blue sea.
We all dip our heads in the deep blue sea, the deep blue sea, the deep blue sea. Oh, we all dip our heads in the deep blue sea on the last day of September.
Alley-alley-o, alley-alley-o on the last day of September. Get ready to sail past the castle by the sea.
Oi, oi!
The big ship sails past the castle by the sea, the castle by the sea, the castle by the sea. The big ship sailed past the castle by the sea on the last day of September.
Alley-alley-o, alley-alley-o on the last day of September.
Shall I weigh up the anchor, Captain Beverley?
Good idea, shipmate.
Come on, shipmate Tamba. Up it goes, and get ready to set sail again. Here we go! Whoa!
The big ship sails on the alley-alley-o, the alley-alley-o, the alley-alley-o. The big ship sails on the alley-alley-o on the last day of September. Alley-alley-o, alley-alley-o on the last day of September. The last day of September. Where have you gone?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. It's time for us to set sail now, but we'll see you again very soon.
Bye-bye, shipmates.
Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, fun for you and me. Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, watch and you will see. Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, it's a wonderful place to be. All together now!
This Christmas, find all of your favourite stars online
You're here.
on CBeebies iPlayer.
What did she say?
CBeebies iPlayer. It has all our best Christmassy bits,
It's genius.
so you can catch up on the fun.
I'll do it.
And I can't wait to see you, Mr. Tumble.
Can't wait, I can't wait!
So ho go online and click on CBeebies iPlayer for a very Merry Christmas.
Snow is falling,
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
children playing, having fun. It's the season. Merry Christmas, everyone.